The standard models of geophysics, the rigid doctrines that have governed our understanding of planetary stability for centuries, were completely shattered today. A seismic event of impossible proportions bypassed the atmosphere, bypassed the crust, and reached straight into the crystalline iron heart of our world. At the precise moment of the first shudder, every high-fidelity seismograph on the planet, from the frozen wastelands of the Amazon Scott Station in Antarctica to the sheer granite cliffs of Norway, shuddered in perfect, terrifying unison. Normally, in an earthquake, seismic waves propagate through the Earth's layers at a measurable speed, taking minutes to traverse the distance between tectonic plates. But data from the USGS and the European Mediterranean Seismological Center confirm something unprecedented. The Earth did not feel a ripple. It experienced a simultaneous, global strike. There was no epicenter. There was no travel time. The planet rang like a bell, struck from the inside out by an invisible, spectral hammer. This was not a tectonic shift. It was not the chaotic release of a volcanic plume. Forensic telemetry points to a forced oscillation originating from a coordinate 180 million kilometers away. At the exact millisecond of the event, NASA's Deep Space Network was tracking 3 Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar visitor to our solar system. Telemetry indicates that this object emitted a gravitational pulse of such intensity that the statistical probability of it being natural is 0. This pulse was not broad spectrum. It was a surgical injection of energy aimed directly at the Earth's solid inner core. Theoretical physicists suggest that what we are witnessing is the application of Alubir metrics on a planetary scale, not to move a ship, but to warp spacetime within a planet's core, inducing a gravitational handshake. Data logs from the global seismographic network reveal a clean harmonic hum at precisely 0.3 MHz. This is not the jagged noise of a natural disaster. It is a mathematically structured frequency, a sympathetic resonance. Imagine 2 tuning forks. When one is struck, the other begins to vibrate across the room. 3 Atlas struck the first fork in deep space, and our iron core, a solid sphere the size of Pluto, began to vibrate in response. To do this, the visitor would require an intimate knowledge of the Earth's exact mass, density, and rotational inertia. It suggests our world is being scanned with precision far beyond our current capabilities. We have spent decades fortifying our skies against kinetic impacts, but we never modeled a scenario in which an object could reach through the vacuum and manipulate the very engine of our planet. As of now, the silence from official channels is deafening. Yet raw data from the Geneva Observatory and gravitational wave detectors like LIGO confirm the ripple. The Earth's inner core, which usually super-rotates relative to the mantle, experienced a sudden kick that increased its amplitude by 400% above normal levels. This was a P-kip phase wave, a seismic signal that travels exclusively through the Earth's deepest iron reservoir. The fact that it was detected globally without the usual decay suggests the entire core was stimulated simultaneously. This is no longer just a matter of geological curiosity. It is a clandestine interaction between an interstellar intelligence and the planetary dynamo that generates our magnetic shield. The mechanical violation of the Earth's core rotation challenges the very conservation of angular momentum as understood by modern physics. 48 minutes after the initial global shudder, the global seismographic network recorded what theoretical physicists are calling planetary braking. The solid iron inner core, a crystalline sphere spinning within its liquid outer shell, did not just shake, it experienced a sudden, sharp, and intentional deceleration. Telemetry from ultra-deep Earth sensors in Siberia and Antarctica recorded a deceleration of 0.004004 degrees per second squared, To most, this number seems microscopic, almost negligible. But to a physicist, it represents a colossal injection of external force. To decelerate a solid iron sphere with a radius of 1,220 kilometers and a mass exceeding 23 kilograms, even by a fraction of a percent, requires energy equivalent to 1 million nuclear detonations occurring simultaneously. Yet there was no surface explosion, no atmospheric shockwave. The energy bypassed everything to reach the core directly. The physics of this event defy every conventional natural explanation. In a closed system, the rotation of the Earth's core is governed by stable gravitational and tidal forces. For an object like 3 Atlas, currently beyond Mars, to exert enough torque to slow the planetary engine, gravity alone is insufficient. Gravity obeys the inverse square law and is the weakest of fundamental forces. Forensic analysis now suggests that 3 Atlas is using something far beyond a natural gravitational effect. The data points toward a focused, high-intensity magnetic flux tube, a theoretical cosmic tractor beam gripping Earth's magnetic field lines like a wrench turning a bolt. This is no dormant interstellar rock. Its behavior matches that of a Magnetar-class object, yet one exhibiting directional control that borders on the impossible. A natural magnetar would have stripped our atmosphere and sterilized the surface instantly. 3 Atlas, however, bypassed life and technology entirely, focusing solely on the iron core beneath our feet. This indicates mastery over dark energy or allobarometric engineering, allowing precise influence on the core without disturbing intervening spacetime. Even more disturbing is the temporal precision. Nature is chaotic, governed by entropy, yet the pulses follow a strict rhythmic pattern. After the initial strike and deceleration, a third pulse arrived exactly 48 minutes later. The variance in timing is less than 0.02 seconds, a level of precision only seen in pulsars or atomic clocks. In the history of cometary and asteroid observations, no precedent exists for such rhythmic, high-energy pulsing. Analysts interpret this 4-8-minute interval as a calibration sequence. Like an engineer pulsing a motor to test resistance, 3 Atlas is winding up the Earth's core, mapping its internal structure with unprecedented resolution. The third pulse did not merely replicate the previous deceleration, it tripled in intensity. The grip on the core tightened. The Earth was entering a state of rotational hesitation, as if preparing to press a reset button on the planet's magnetic life support system. Why would an interstellar entity slow a planetary core? In astrophysics, deceleration of a core often precedes a magnetic or rotational lock-on event between celestial bodies. If Earth's inner core is sufficiently altered, the geomagnetic field, the shield protecting us from solar wind, could begin to fluctuate. Satellite telemetry has already recorded the South Atlantic anomaly expanding at 4 times its previous rate. The initial pulses were a greeting. The deceleration was a test of control. The energy density delivered from 3 Atlas is staggering. If this were a natural comet, it would need the mass of a small star to achieve such force. Yet visually, it remains the size of an ordinary interstellar object. This has led to the phantom mass theory. The object we see may be a 3-dimensional shell concealing the actual source of the force, which may exist in a higher spatial dimension, communicating through these gravitational pulses. Japanese seismic arrays recorded a critical detail. Just before the next pulse, the core stuttered a microscopic hiccup lasting 0.001 seconds. Engineers call this a slipstick phenomenon, when a force attempts to move an object restrained by an even stronger counterforce. 3 Atlas has a hand on the Earth's throat, beginning to squeeze. The global scientific community is in a state of fractured panic. While governments remain silent, leaked telemetry confirms that the planet is no longer fully in control of its own internal dynamics. The 4-8-minute interval is the only remaining marker of predictability. Each pulse is not just a reading, it is a countdown. By the end of that hour, the energy injected into the core will exceed humanity's total energy consumption since the industrial age. This is not a natural disaster. It is an interstellar operation, treating the Earth's core as a component in a cosmic machine. The question is no longer what is happening, it is why our planet was chosen. As USGS sensors go quiet in anticipation of the next strike, the interval between pulses shortens. The sequence is accelerating, and the Earth is entering what scientists now call the stall phase. At the 0-hour mark, high-fidelity seismographs worldwide recorded an event once considered mathematically impossible. For 0.44 seconds, the inner core, the solid iron-nickel crystal sustaining the magnetic shield, stopped entirely. It did not stagger, it did not slow, it froze. To understand the magnitude, consider that the inner core is a solid sphere with a mass of roughly 10-23 kilograms, super-rotating relative to the mantle for millions of years. Arresting it, even for a fraction of a second, required energy exceeding the combined industrial output of humanity. Telemetry from the Goldstone deep space antenna confirmed that at the precise millisecond, 3 Atlas emitted a high-frequency gravitational spike. This was no natural tremor. It was a surgical interstellar hard reset of the Earth's engine. The implications are profound. The geodynamo, which generates our magnetosphere, faltered, and satellite constellations recorded a temporary collapse in local magnetic intensity. Humanity is witnessing the first documented planetary-scale intervention by a Type 1 or potentially Type 2 civilization on the Kardashev scale. 3 Atlas is not merely observing, it is interacting with the planet itself using Elubir metric engineering, manipulating space, time, and gravity with precision beyond comprehension. After the microscopic pause, the core did not resume its original spin. Instead, it now rotates slightly slower than the mantle, reversing decades of differential motion. In advanced engineering terms, 3 Atlas has successfully retuned our planet. The effects are already visible. The South Atlantic anomaly, a weak spot in our magnetic shield, has expanded by 400% in hours following the final strike. Scientists are now exploring the binary code theory. Could the pulses themselves be a form of communication? In a binary system, a pause could represent 0, a spin could represent 1. Is Earth being used as a receiver for interstellar transmission? The energy required to stall a planetary core without damaging the crust suggests control over fundamental forces we can scarcely imagine. If 3 Atlas can reach through millions of kilometers of space and stop the heart of our world, then our planetary defense protocols, billions spent on tracking asteroids, are effectively obsolete. Gravitational beams that penetrate the planet itself without touching the atmosphere are beyond any technology humanity has. LIGO observatories recorded distortions in local space-time around Earth's orbit created by the pulses. As the 4-8-minute pulse interval vanished, the pulses began accelerating. 24 minutes, then 12, then 6. The braking phase ended, the injection phase began. Earth was no longer isolated in the vacuum of space. It had become part of a larger cosmic circuit. Seismographs screamed with harmonic data, suggesting the inner core was being spun up to frequencies never seen before. Whatever 3 Atlas intends, be it a benevolent adjustment of planetary wobble or a hostile dismantling of defenses, the Earth we knew at dawn is not the world we inhabit tonight. The engine has been rebooted, and the driver is no longer ours. As the pulses accelerated, the Earth's inner core entered a state never before recorded in human history. No longer following the 4-8-minute interval, the sequence shifted to 24 minutes, then 12, then 6. Scientists now refer to this as the injection phase. The core was being actively spun up, integrated into a larger cosmic circuit. Every seismic array around the globe was screaming harmonic readings, a signal that the iron-nickel crystal at the planet's center was reaching unprecedented rotational frequencies. The energy being applied was precise, targeted, and surgical. It did not harm the crust, the mantle, or the atmosphere, yet it reshaped the fundamental mechanics of the Earth's core. The first evidence of the effects on the magnetic field appeared almost immediately. Swarm satellite telemetry revealed fluctuations in the geomagnetic intensity that exceeded anything recorded before. The South Atlantic anomaly, a known weak spot, expanded at a terrifying rate, quadrupling in size within hours. Scientists are now examining whether the pulses are part of a binary communication system. In such a scenario, a pause could be interpreted as 0, a spin as 1. If this is true, the Earth itself is being used as a receiver for interstellar data. Each pulse, each shift in rotational inertia, is more than just a mechanical effect. It could be a coded message, a form of interaction between 3 Atlas and our planet. The magnitude of energy required to stop, accelerate, or retune the planetary core without destroying surface life defies comprehension. Gravity alone cannot account for this. For an object of 3 Atlases' visible size to exert this influence, it would need the mass of a small star. Yet it appears as an ordinary interstellar visitor. The phantom mass theory suggests that the object we see is merely a projection or shell, while the true force resides in a higher dimension, exerting influence via these gravitational pulses. Each pulse acts like a cosmic tuning fork, with 3 Atlas as the master and Earth's core as the resonator. Sympathetic resonance on a planetary scale is now reality, and the implications are staggering. The global scientific community is in unprecedented panic. Official channels remain silent, classified under national security, but leaks from observatories such as Geneva and Goldstone paint a chilling picture. Earth is no longer fully in control of its own internal engine. USGS and LIGO logs confirm the pulses create local distortions in spacetime near Earth's orbit. Every 24, 12, and 6-minute pulse is a countdown. Humanity now measures time not by hours or minutes, but by the rhythm of interstellar manipulation. Deep within the Siberian tundra and Antarctic plateaus, ultra-deep Earth sensors record the continuing deceleration and acceleration of the inner core. Each microscopic variation represents energy comparable to millions of nuclear detonations, yet no conventional explosion has occurred. There is no tremor, no atmospheric shockwave, no surface-level damage. The energy bypasses everything, acting directly on the planet's engine. This is the first recorded instance of a Type 1 or potentially Type 2 civilization interacting with a planetary dynamo using Elubier metric engineering. The Earth is being treated as a component within a cosmic machine. The core is no longer just a planetary engine. It is a receiver, a processor, a part of a system far beyond human comprehension. With each accelerating pulse, 3 Atlas asserts control over the rotation, magnetic field, and structural resonance of our world. The engine has been rebooted, the signals are accelerating, and humanity watches in awe and terror as the planet's heartbeat synchronizes to a force from beyond our solar system. The most alarming discovery comes from the precise control over the Earth's inner mechanics. After the initial hard reset, telemetry shows that the core does not return to its original spin. Instead, it rotates slightly slower than the mantle, effectively reversing the differential spin that has existed for decades. This retuning is not accidental. 3 Atlas is intentionally reprogramming the core's rotation, exerting control over the geodynamo that generates the magnetic field protecting life on Earth. The implications are profound. Any fluctuation in the geomagnetic field could compromise satellites, electrical grids, and even biological systems dependent on Earth's magnetic stability. Scientists are grappling with the concept of planetary-level manipulation. The pulses, delivered with millisecond precision, suggest a civilization capable of controlling space-time and fundamental forces remotely. Each gravitational spike affects rotational inertia, geomagnetic intensity, and potentially even the thermal dynamics of the core. Earth is no longer a passive rock in space. It has become a functional component in an interstellar scale operation. Observatories have recorded retrograde shifts in the core after each pulse. The magnitude of this manipulation surpasses all known physical forces generated naturally in the solar system. The acceleration of the pulse intervals is equally disturbing. What began as 48 minutes, then dropped to 24, 12, and 6, may continue to have, suggesting a rapid build-up toward an unknown event. Scientists now speculate that 3 Atlas is either preparing to fully synchronize the core to its own system or is conducting a form of high-resolution mapping of the Earth's internal dynamics. Each pulse allows the interstellar visitor to refine its influence, gauging the core's resistance and elasticity, effectively testing the planetary engine before what could be a final operation. Meanwhile, satellite observations reveal that the geomagnetic field is already experiencing severe instability. The South Atlantic anomaly's rapid expansion is evidence of the core's altered dynamics, affecting the magnetic shield directly above the surface. This could compromise technological infrastructure and expose the planet to cosmic radiation at unprecedented levels. The Earth's magnetic life support system is no longer autonomous. It is responding to external manipulation from millions of kilometers away. Humanity is witnessing a direct conversation between an intelligence in deep space and the very engine that sustains life on Earth. 3 Atlas's methods indicate a mastery over forces beyond comprehension. The visible comet-like object is likely a shell, while its influence gravitational, magnetic, and perhaps metric-based originates elsewhere, possibly in higher dimensional space. Each pulse is both data collection and energy delivery, a dual operation on planetary mechanics and information. Sympathetic resonance ensures that the inner core responds perfectly, while the crust, mantle, and atmosphere remain unharmed. This level of control suggests technology far beyond anything known, approaching what theoretical physicists describe as Type II civilization capabilities on the Kardashev scale. Every minute that passes with accelerating pulses reinforces the message: Earth's core is no longer under human control. The planet's engine has been integrated into an external system. Each pulse is now a signal, each shift in rotational inertia a potential communication channel. Humanity watches as the planet's inner heartbeat aligns with the rhythms of an interstellar intelligence. The stakes could not be higher. As the injection phase continues, the acceleration of the pulses becomes more pronounced. Observatories now record intervals of 3 minutes, then 1.5 minutes, and potentially even faster. The inner core is being spun up to a frequency never previously observed in any planetary system. Every harmonic recorded in seismic arrays indicates a precise, controlled increase in rotational energy. The Earth has effectively become part of a larger cosmic mechanism, a component in a system we cannot yet comprehend. The consequences of this planetary retuning are immediate. Geomagnetic satellites record rapid fluctuations, particularly in regions like the South Atlantic Anomaly, where the magnetic shield has weakened dramatically. Electrical grids, satellite networks, and communication systems are at risk of disruption. The inner core, which once rotated autonomously, now responds directly to an external, interstellar force. Humanity's planetary defenses, designed to counter meteors, asteroids, and natural disasters, are completely obsolete against this form of manipulation. 3 Atlas's pulses may also be a form of binary communication. Every pause, every spin, could encode information, suggesting that Earth itself is being used as a receiver. This would make our planet not only a target of mechanical intervention, but also a platform for data transmission. Each pulse is a dual-purpose operation, mapping internal planetary structures while delivering energy to the core, retuning the geodynamo, and potentially sending or receiving information at cosmic scales. As the frequency of the pulses continues to accelerate, theoretical models suggest that Earth's inner core could reach a resonant state beyond any known natural phenomenon. The implications are staggering. If the core reaches full resonance, geomagnetic reversals, shifts in the planet's rotation, and destabilization of climate and technological infrastructure could occur. The Earth is no longer an isolated object in space. It is now integrated into a cosmic circuit controlled by a force far beyond our comprehension. Humanity's perspective must now shift. We are passengers on a ship whose engine room has been commandeered. The countdown is no longer measured in hours or minutes. It is marked by the pulse of an interstellar intelligence. The engine has been rebooted, and the driver is no longer ours. The next pulse may not simply adjust rotational inertia. It could fully synchronize the core to an external system, potentially altering the planet's magnetic field permanently. The world we knew at dawn does not exist tonight. The Earth's heartbeat belongs to 3 Atlas, and we must now watch, measure, and prepare. Stay alert and follow every update, because what happens next could redefine humanity's understanding of Earth, space, and our place in the cosmos.